I'm Anne Ford. I work for Muller Dairies as the A2 Supply Coordinator, and I'm the link between the farms, the dairy and A2. Muller Dairies is part of the Muller Group. It's one of the UK's 3 largest liquid milk processors, and 99% of my time is spent working on the A2 project for the A2 Milk Company. So I'm going to tell you a bit more about A2 milk. So we'll be looking at what is A2 milk, understanding the A2 protein, the selection of A2 cows to actually produce A2 milk, bringing back the pleasure of milk to people. We'll have a look at who is the A2 Milk Company and what's happening in the UK, how our consumers are feeling the difference with A2 milk, where can I actually buy it, the promotional activities that we're involved with, and finally our A2 farmers, of which the college here is a prime example. And as I say, Dowie's going to tell us a bit more about that in detail. So, what is A2 milk? Well, actually not all milk is the same. Different cows produce different types of milk. A2 milk is fresh cow's milk that naturally contains a protein called A2 and not a protein called A1. Up to 10 million people in the UK currently experience digestive issues when drinking regular cow's milk. And these issues might be linked to protein digestion, and A2 milk might help them to be able to return to dairy. So just take a moment to understand A2 protein. 3.3% of milk is protein. Of that total protein, 80% is casein, and of the casein, 30% is beta-casein. Now, within beta-casein, there are a number of genetically determined variants, of which A1 and A2 are the most common. All of the cow's milk contains a mixture of A1 and A2 beta-casein proteins, but our A2 milk contains 100% A2 type beta-casein protein. Many years ago, all cows produced milk containing only the A2 protein, but during domestication by humans, a different protein called A1 became dominant throughout herds in Europe. And gradually, a genetic mutation in cows has introduced a dominance of the A1 protein. So just a little bit more look at beta-casein proteins and what the difference is. A1 and A2 beta-casein proteins are structured differently, and the difference in structure between the beta-casein variants leads to a difference in their breakdown during digestion. The digestion of the A1 proteins happens in a different way. A1 protein causes some people to experience digestive issues when they drink milk, and many people find that they can actually digest the A2 protein much easier. Healthcare professionals and consumers commonly report a link between A2 milk and improved digestive comfort relative to milk containing the A1 beta-casein protein. There is now a deep and growing body of scientific evidence from independent publications around the world supporting these health benefits. So how do we go about producing the A2 milk and the selection of the cows? Well, A2 milk is a naturally occurring product, and it's not a product of technological process, and there's no genetic engineering involved. We've developed a safe and simple way to select the purebred A2 cows that naturally produce 100% A2 milk, which is rich in A2 protein and totally free from A1 protein. Certified herds, like the college here, are segregated and maintained under patents developed by the A2 Milk Company. A2 herds are grazed and housed and milked separately to produce pure A2 milk, but the A2 cows are fed and managed just like any other cows. Studies from around the world have revealed that by drinking A2 milk, we're drinking real and natural milk that is easier for many people to digest. Many people tell us it just works better in their bodies, and we like to think that we're bringing back the pleasure of real and natural milk for many people every day. So we've got A2 hand-picked cows producing natural A2 protein, which gives us 100% pure A2 milk, which tummies approve of, and it's all from the A2 Milk Company. So who are the A2 Milk Company? Back in 1997, Dr. Corin McLachlan, a scientist in New Zealand, discovered the impact of this difference in proteins and founded the A2 Milk Company. The A2 Milk Company is now a successful branded consumer goods company listed on the New Zealand Stock Exchange. Since 2003, trading activities have been focused in Australia, where A2 is now one of the fastest growing grocery lines, with a grocery market share of 9% by value. So how did the UK become involved? Well, the A2 Milk Company were looking to grow their business into Europe, and they entered into a joint venture with Robert Wiseman Dairies in November 2011. Following the takeover by Muller and the subsequent transition to Muller-Wiseman Dairies, the joint venture became a contract processing arrangement in January 2014. Muller-Wiseman Dairies source and process the milk, and as part of that process they collect it and keep the milk separate in tankers, keep it separate at the dairy in the silos. It has to be run first down a clean plant and kept separate in the finished milk tanks before it's actually bottled. The A2 Milk Company, in turn, are then responsible for the distribution, the sales and the marketing. So, how are our consumers feeling the difference with A2 milk? Well, it's a difficult message to get out, and unfortunately, lactose intolerance is being confused with A1 protein intolerance. 1 in 5 people find it hard to digest milk. That's 20% of the population. However, only 1 in 20 people have actually been diagnosed as lactose intolerant. That's 5% of the population. So our potential consumers, of the 15% of people who are not medically diagnosed but who do experience discomfort from consuming milk, their symptoms are often improved or completely alleviated by drinking A2 milk. A2 milk could enable up to 10 million people who may experience issues when drinking cow's milk to return to dairy. We've had many fantastic stories and testimonials from people who are now drinking A2 milk with absolutely no digestive side effects. One of these is Sarah and her son Noah. Noah was having bad reactions to Sarah's breast milk, and her GP advised that Noah was most likely intolerant to the protein in milk and that she should give up milk in her diet. She did that and Noah's tummy troubles improved. But Sarah was really missing milk in her diet, but fortunately a friend told her about A2 milk. She started to reintroduce small amounts back into her diet and discovered that Noah had no reaction to A2 milk. Now Noah eats and drinks A2 milk himself with no side effects. And Sarah tells us that this milk has truly changed our lives. Noah is a much happier baby now that he has A2 milk, which doesn't upset his tummy. I'm also much happier knowing that he will grow up strong with all the nutrients of cow's milk. So where can I buy this milk? Well, it's an ongoing challenge to increase the number of stockists. It is available as 2-litre whole or semi-skim bottles in many Tesco stores, some Waitrose stores, some Morrison stores, and also online at Ocado. However, there is a health warning. It isn't in all stores, but we are working on it. You're best to use the store finder on the A2 website to find your nearest store. If you are looking to buy some and it's not in a store near you, then please do tell the store manager, because the more requests we get, the more likely we are to be able to stock it. As I mentioned before, this is a challenging message to get out to people. There's a huge amount of activity going on behind the scenes to try and spread the word about A2 milk. There's extensive use of social media, our website, www.a2milk.co.uk, Facebook, Twitter and blogs we're using. We're continually receiving endorsements such as Sarah and Noah from our consumers. There's no better ambassador than those who benefit themselves. There's some regional focus that we're doing, especially in the south and east, where we've set up more specific hothouse areas with targeted activity in local stores, coffee shops and supermarkets. In our own Milkfield area, we've worked on promotional events with several of our farmers. Obviously, the college here are keen to help and support and promote A2 milk. Healthcare professionals, many dietitians and GPs now refer A2 to their patients. And we also have our own registered nutritionist, Melanie Bibby, who's on hand to provide dietary advice and support. We've had some celebrity support. Danny Minogue was involved at the initial launch, and Dr. Hilary Jones is a keen supporter. Lately, we've started to work with some sports professionals. One example is the Harlequins Rugby Club. They are keen to use A2 milk as a post-exercise recovery drink. We also do in-store activity, advertising, tasting and consumer interaction. And finally, our A2 farmers, without whom none of this would be possible. We're working with 20 farms in North Wales, Cheshire, Shropshire and Staffordshire, all within a 50-mile radius of Market Drayton. The initial recruitment was based on the selection of A2 animals in their herds. An average Holstein herd tests out at about 35% A2, some are higher, some are lower. Guernsey herds and Channel Island herds tend to be higher, more like 80%. We've got 11 herds who are converted over totally to all A2, and the remaining 9 are segregated herds with 2 tanks, which example of Llysfasi. So I'll now let Dowie tell you a bit more about his side of the story.
Yeah, diolch am. Yeah, thank you very much, Anne, for telling us about the supply side, really, or what happens to the milk after it's left the farm here. We became interested in this in a meeting. I was in a meeting autumn 2011. Sounds quite a long way back now, doesn't it? But obviously, getting a branded product, onto a supermarket shelf is a journey in itself, and it gave us an opportunity, really. Once we decided that we're going to go with A2 milk, to be part of more than just producing the milk, putting it in the tank and then watching the tanker drive away. Okay, which was something we were quite keen to do. Anyway, made aware of the opportunity. We tested our herd then in the summer of 2012, and the results came back with 52 cows out of the 135, which gives us just over the 138, over the 38% of the cows, or 52 of them, were cows that were totally A2 cows. So we were able to identify, and obviously Anne was going to other farms and doing the same thing at the time, and trying to generate this pool of milk that Muller Wiseman needed. It was, in fairness, Robert Wiseman at the time that set the process going. So we had some cows, we had 38% of them, and obviously these cows were mixed in the shed with the other cows, as on any farm. All we've done is said, this cow goes to that side of the shed, this cow goes to that side of the shed. That's all we've had to do in relation to the segregation part of the herd itself. So why do we go for A2? Well, we are paid a premium price for it because it is a premium product. Not everybody can produce their own yoghurt or their own ice cream and so on. And we're aware of that, but also we're aware that we're selling a quality product that's going largely onto a commodities market and taking the price we can get. So we wanted to go into the branded market. We knew that probably wasn't realistic for us to do it ourselves, although other companies do, because we have obviously other pressures here and other things that we're trying to do at the same time. So this was a brilliant way for us to get a better price. It's a branded product, and getting people to return to milk, which actually helps the whole of the dairy industry. It's people drinking milk that were previously choosing not to drink milk because it didn't agree with them. And then a lot of confusion with lactose intolerance and so on. So people are thinking, well, you know, I'll have goat's milk or soy milk or some other product, whilst really what they wanted was cow's milk. Another thing for us, of course, was to get students learning about the science of it. It was a genetic mutation that brought the A1 protein about. So we talk about genetic mutations in the classroom. Well, we've got a great example here of us using that to commercial advantage, that sort of knowledge. It's a great example of sort of the science behind it. Also the business aspects, getting more for your milk, how much more is it costing you to produce A2 milk and so on, keeping your herd separate, having 2 tanks. In our case, some farmers obviously have gone for 100% A2 milk, which is probably for most of them meant selling their non-A2 cows and buying A2 cows. So the business and marketing aspects as well are important in terms of students and learning. Timing in relation to new buildings. We were putting this new building up that we already stood in at that time, and I knew there's going to be symmetry. There's going to be a left-hand side to it and a right-hand side. So segregation into 2 herds is what we decided we were going to do. And the reason we didn't want to go 100% A2 milk is because it would mean selling a lot of our cows, and some of them were bred for years and generations, because if you're selling a new product, there are no guarantees that it will be successful in the UK. There are no guarantees. And as such, it would be a little bit foolish for us, I thought, to sell all of that and go on 100%. We had 52 A2 cows. The remainder of the 135 were standard. So what I'm doing now is building those 2 herds up. So Anne tests the cows for us. We went to Scotland and we bought 45 animals from a dispersal there and tested them all. And then it's just me then and the other A2 producers that actually get that list. We're the only ones in the know in terms of those cows. Nobody else needs to know. Certainly the auctioneer doesn't need to know. Although the fact that myself and a couple of the A2 farmers are bidding for them gives the game away a little bit. But we did have, and it's still ongoing, isn't it? We had a grant towards the extra cost of buying those cows, because shiny A2 cows potentially worth more money, aren't they? Okay, so we were helped with that as well. So timing in relation to new buildings, putting the 2 tanks in, as I mentioned while we were outside there, and increasing the herd. So we were able to do it as part of another development. I'm not saying that we couldn't have done it in the old side, but it worked better that we were planning what we were doing with this as part of it, really. So over that sort of winter of 2012, we were increasing both the herds, and then we signed on the dotted line for production as of the 1st of April 2013. Any new cows that we have now, any heifers, any rearing animals, Anne comes and tests them. Not every time one's born, you come every once in a while, we give you the batch, and then we get the results. And you'll notice when we're in the shed there, then we aim to tag them there. We can do that from when they're little, we don't have to wait until they're coming into the herd. I also get an audit from Anne every year. She comes and checks that what we're saying is A2, but you pick up on that because you take milk samples anyway and you're able to test. Key to this product is if we're saying it's better for your digestion, well, if it's not the pure product, it's disproving its value, isn't it? If we put it out there and it's not and it's not correct, So there's a bit of pressure on the set to make sure we do that correctly. So herds increasing, we're still testing. I have taken the decision to only use A2 bulls since we've gone into this, because we may, in 3, 4, 5 years' time, decide that we want to go 100% A2. So we're building that genetic pool in the herd as we're going forward. If we decided to discontinue with the A2, not with any plans to do that, but if we were, they're just a normal herd of cows. They revert to being, we just mix them up again. So, we had, and colleges talk about it, don't they? What's your exit strategy, isn't it? Yeah. And also, the first 2 years of doing it, because we were getting the subsidy, getting more for our milk, it wasn't costing us as we were going along. And that was important. So, in a way, we didn't have a huge amount to lose over it, because it was set up properly and in the right way. Because it was recognised that we were putting more in, and expected to get more out in return. That's what branding, I believe, is all about anyway. It does narrow the pool of bulls you've got to choose from, by the way, but you've still got a decent pool of bulls out there that we were able to select. What will we do in the future? Well, I alluded to it really. We'll either stick on the 50-50, or we'll grow the A2, or, as I say, we might go and do something completely different when the next new thing comes along. I don't know why you found a good reason not to go into the website, but I put the website at the bottom here. It's easy to find, you can just type it in the search. There are some particularly handsome farmers out there that are being used to give prominence to the project, and then you can follow whichever story you prefer in terms of that. Okay, and that's great for us to have that link, isn't it? And you know, it's part of the provenance, and milk. It's treated too much as a commodity, isn't it? As a thing that people take for granted, the thing that, you know, some of these stores want to give away, so people come in there and buy the wine and buy the chocolate whilst they're in there. So, you know, we know the politics of milk, and as I say, we're glad to be part of this project. It's no different to having a Marks and Spencer's contract, or a Tesco contract, or a Sainsbury's contract. It's a something for something, isn't it? You do a bit more, and then you get to earn a little bit more as well. Any questions?
Is the A2 cow more beneficial rather than financial?
Well, I would say yes, because, you know, and especially as time goes forward, another thing that we haven't mentioned is we have got another section of farmers that just produce A2 animals.
Does it taste the same?
Tastes exactly the same. You've just had some, everybody's had some this morning. By default, if you had some in your coffee, no difference at all. All we've done is say that cow goes that way, that one goes that way, and we haven't picked up any other difference at all. Another question?
Two questions, if that's okay.
That's okay.
Firstly, what's the fat content of that milk, and does it differ from ordinary milk? If that's correct.
No, I don't think so.
We do whole milk, which is 3.5%, and semi-skim, which is 1%. So it's no 1.5%. So it's absolutely no difference. But that's all in the processing of the milk, and the actual milk that comes out of the cow.
No, yeah, because we get milk, the results of the milk every week, and there's no difference.
There's absolutely no difference.
The other key as well is we do, and I'll get to your second question, is we do manage the herds exactly the same. We don't need to do anything different. There's no special feed required or any other service that we need to do differently to get it. It's just that segregation. It's dealing with them as two herds, isn't it?
Yeah.
I have a question.
The second question was, with the A2 milk, have you done any further processing to add value in terms of yogurts or cheese? My question then was, do the properties that you're claiming stand up to further processing?
Yeah. We haven't at the moment. We're just concentrating on the liquid milk, but there are plans in hand to do, well, I think cheese will perhaps be the next one, but yeah, all the other products, so yogurts, they do yogurts over in Australia, ice cream and those sorts of things, they will all, if they're produced from the A2 milk, then they'll have the same properties. So.
Okay, yeah, question or three.
With genetics, on the genetic side, how easy is it for you to access A2 bulls?
Yeah, straightforward. If you look at the genus catalogue now, they're actually quoted as A2 bulls. But over above that, in fairness, Anne does check them as well. You've got to go through that process.
Yeah.
Because obviously human error, what have you could have it in the catalogue as being something that it isn't. But no, you just go through the catalogue and we say, well, in a way it makes the process easier. You say, well, that is not A2, so he narrows it down, and we can look at that in two respects. I know we need to wind now.
We can take one more question.
One more question.
What's A2? Why?
Right, okay, it's just the genetics of it, isn't it? You've got the sort of both sides in a way. You could have
We've got
A2,
two
you could have
genes,
A2A1
Right.
or A1A1.
Right.
Those are the variants, so we can't use the A1A2. But that herd that you saw on the left there, some of those cows will be A1A1. When we breed from them with an A2A2 bull, it's co-dominance they call it,
Yeah, that's
roughly
yeah,
speaking,
yeah.
you get
They'll
50-50. The A1, A2s, or you get the higher proportion coming through as A2. So it will take some years to breed that A1 out. Obviously, if we was using A2, A2 bulls on A2, A2 cows, it perpetuates that A2, A2 then.
It would probably take you about 10 years if you just did,
Yes, just to completely get
just
rid of
used
it.
A2 bulls and did no testing.